Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm going to go through problem 24. 24 says, let g be the function given by g of x equals this, where k is a constant. For what value of k does g have a critical point at x equals 2/3? So we need a critical number at x equals 2/3. Well, we know that we get our critical numbers by figuring out where g prime of x is equal to 0. So why don't we find g prime, set it equal to 0, and try to figure out for what k will get 2/3. So first, g prime of x would have to equal using the product rule between this guy and this guy. There's two separate functions, right? The first guy, let's call this f of x, and then this part g of x. So the derivative of f of x, which is f prime, is 2x, and we'd want to multiply f prime of x with g of x, which is e to the kx, and then plus x squared f of x times the derivative of g of x, which is k times, it's a tiny k times e to the kx, right? This is g prime, okay, because that's g again. Okay, cool. So we want to know where this is equal to 0. First, we see that x times e to the kx is a common factor to this term and that term. So if we factor that out, we can write x times e to the kx times 2 plus, all we should have here is an x times k, right? Because we would have taken an x out of that, so we'll have an x remaining, and then we took out e to the kx, so we should just have an x times k. So since this is also equal to g prime of x, setting g prime of x equal to 0 is the same as setting this thing equal to 0. But this thing will equal 0 if one of 3 items is equal to 0. If x equals 0, right? If this equals 0, if x equals 0, then this will equal 0, which means everything here will equal 0. Okay, great, because this x is multiplying both this and that, right? Okay, great. So if x equals 0, we have a critical number, okay, but that's never going to equal 2/3. And also, if e to the kx is equal to 0, there's no value of k that will make e to the kx equal to 0. And you should know that. If you don't, you should study e to the x a little bit more. Okay, and I have other videos where I've explained that in more detail. So it must be that we have 2 plus kx, which I wrote awkwardly as x times k there, equals 0. That gets us this critical number. So if we try to solve this, we're going to get that kx is going to equal -2. So x would have to equal -2 over k. But we don't want -2 over k. We want 2 over 3. So in other words, -2 over k must equal 2 over 3. So -2 over k equals 2 over 3 could be solved for, and that's going to say 2k is equal to -6, which means that k will have to equal -3. So for that value of k, we could have seen that very easily once we got to here, right? Like, clearly I need k to be -3 in order for me to get 2/3. I didn't need to solve, but hopefully me solving helped some of you. And so the answer is k equals -3, answer choice A. Alright, I hope you got that. Take care.